We'll just go live. I don't have the Boomer Reviews intro. I do appreciate people making me intros. A nice, kind young man made me an intro, but then he used music from the most overrated band in the world, Pink Floyd. And then I'm like, why was that taken? Oh, Pink Floyd. Which is a shitty, like, if you're going to use music, why would you? I'm deadly. I know the great one thinks Pink Floyd is the best. It's not. Of all the boomer music, right? Aside from the hippie, come on, baby, light my fire and that shit. That was like the last gasp. That was the battle of the bulge of the boomer music, was Pink Floyd, that 70s shit. And it's just noise, and you had to be high on drugs. And to this, yeah, is that the? I didn't know Great One was a boomer. Is that the hill you're gonna die on? Not Great One. I'm talking about, like, I'm shocked. Really, how? Pink Floyd, how? Dude, anyone else? Anyone else? Duke Ellington wasn't lyrics. Artie Shaw, old school, modern, Huey Lewis and the News. Anyone but Pink Floyd. So I can't have an intro. All right, enough of that. I have to review this book, and I won't lie. The books are either hit or miss. They're either home runs or strikeouts. And a lot of that is due to lazy people thinking they're authors, or wouldn't it be nice to be an author? And they're just trying to avoid work. And I've had, now thankfully it's been a while. I will never forget the first book I had to read and review. Cancer. Fucking Cancer. I don't mean to be these, New York elite snobs. I don't mean to be that, but it's just ass cancer. And as I always went, it's like, hey, you want to read a book? And it takes time too. Now, let me tell you. Let's move that. It's a little close. It's like Vince's dick always in my face. Let me tell you why. Even if I don't like your book, I'm going to give you kudos and promote you in a professional way, because maybe I just don't like your book. It's not my flavor of tea. Let me tell you about Anthony Robinson. Okay. He's I got Cairo Copeland's book right here. This is what happens when you do the fucking work. Cairo Copeland, Riches from Bitches. I'll promote you even more. And why do I like? Well, the book was good too. Cappy, my name is Cairo Copeland. I'd like you to review my book. Nice short email. You got an Audible? Yes. You got it on a thumb drive or MP3 where I don't have to fuck around with Audible, because Audible has become a fucking unusable platform? Here's the thumb drive. Oh, you're going to trust me not to share this with the world, and I don't need permissions emailed back and forth? Nope. Downloaded the MP3s, listened to it the very next day. I got a book review on this one. Anthony Robinson, the exact same thing. Cappy, like you to review my book. Okay. You got it on Audible? Yes, sir, I do. You got a link to the drive? Here it is. Makes my job a lot easier. And then I related to this. I go find the link for his book, right? I listened to it, and then, okay, I'm going to promote it then. Find the link. You got to tip your hat to Anthony here in another regard. He's got 200 reviews. A bunch of people have been reviewing his book. Why? Because the man has hustle. The man went out, had a bunch of other people review it. No doubt he probably paid for it, but there's nothing wrong with that, paying for people's time. I'm like, look at this guy go. So just on that alone, I'm not even related to the book. This man has hustle. This man works. And it shows in his book. His book is good. I'd say it's, okay. The quality, the cleverness, the plot, it's pushing excellent. Is it the greatest book ever written? No. But it's a good book. And now I gotta remove the things that are objective. Like, okay, was it well written well? Is the plot, move along, cadence? Yes, all the structural things about the book is good. And there's the question whether you like the book, and I like the book. I like the book. I like the chocolate ice cream with the sprinkles on top and the whipped cherries and a redhead giving me a blowjob while I'm eating it. Maybe it wasn't that good of a book, but I don't know what book would be that good because reading sucks, right? If you get me to like a book, because I hate reading, I hate writing. Cappy, aren't you an author? Yes. Yes, I am. Ask if a urologist loves giving testicle surgery. No, they probably don't. They probably don't look like looking at your taint and your anus and your ball sack. Just saying. It was a fun book. It was a good, fun, short book. And I don't want to give it away, but it's clever. It's clever. So the general overall premise of the book is it's short term into the future, very reminiscent of these 1950s movies, Planet of the Amazonian Women, and it's an all-female society, and somehow through time travel or whatever, some men end up in this all-female society, all-female world. So that's what happens here. There's two guys, O'Connor and Jackson. And for a short book, these two guys, you could tell Anthony put some thought into the character development of these two guys. They're the heroes of the show. And it wasn't he didn't go like Ayn Randian levels of depth into the character, but he put enough emphasis into character design and come up with the two heroes that they played well. This might be an obscure reference. The TV show from the 60s called The Wild Wild West. And it was kind of like a James Bond technology in the Wild West. They made a movie with Will Smith. That's not what I'm talking about. It was based on a TV show. And it had Artemis Gordon and James West, and it reminded me of that. You have this dapper, street smart, uh, executing kind of leader guy. That's Jackson. And then you have this nerdy, scientific, polished, book smart kind of gentleman, and they pair well. They really did. And in the book, as short as the book was, and by the way, it's not a super short book, but it reminded me of two people playing well together or two actors doing very well. So the characters were, I gotta imagine you consciously thought about this. The short time that they're thrown into a situation, so they don't know much about each other. But it's the kernel of the book, and I was just impressed where it's like, wow, you actually gave some thought and built some characters. Which is way more than what Hollywood is doing, what modern millennial writers are doing. I don't know if this guy's a millennial or not. Video games, right? You actually kinda, "Oh, that guy's kinda cool. Oh, that guy's different. That guy's quirky. Look at this weird oh, he's got a weakness for the ladies over it." The conversation they have on blondes versus brunettes. It's good, like, you're cheering for him. Like, "Well, I'm cheering for that team." And so, so these guys, O'Connor and Jackson, they volunteer for interesting reasons, both of them, to be part of this cryogenic freezing stasis experiment. And they're supposed to be frozen for 3 years. And then they come out of it if it works and everything. Well, they come out and they're on the Society of Women. There's nothing but women around. I don't want to ruin things like where they are or how they got there. So they were not frozen for 3 years. They were frozen. What was it, Anthony? 50 years? A significantly more time. And in that time, a couple generations have gone by, and there's been a nuclear war and a consequential virus escape, and it killed off all the men on the planet. And now these are the only two men alive. And they come into a society of all women. Now, his overall intention was to make some political, sociological, economic, mental commentary. I'm sure if I were to go find those old 50s movies, Planet of the Big Breasted, Long Legged Amazonian Women who are surprisingly horny. Um, you there's elements of that there, but it's I'd say in a modern updated version of that. And it even though this was probably designed as a fun and playful book, and he doesn't delve into the politics as much. It's an action movie or action book. It would make a great movie. It would, but Hollywood would never touch it. But this would make a great. This would be, hey, toss it $20 million budget, make it decent. This would be great. It would also sell because it'd be so controversial in the right way. Um, but it's he doesn't. There's no like long like it's a lot like Atlas Shrugged, but for people who don't have 365 years to live, right? This kind of lets the behaviors of the different people, namely the two men and all the women, tell you what's going on. You don't need long conversations or speeches that you would find in Atlas Shrugged. I'll even go so far as to say, like, you want a short version of the feminist version of Atlas Shrugged? Here you go. And then you still have time in the day to play. People start Atlas Shrugged reading it when they're 17, also in their 67. I didn't even save for retirement. What happened? I just finally finished the book. So, although it is meant to be fun, playful, some of the acronyms he uses and the word, but I don't want to ruin it for you. It's fun, and it's a quick ride, and it's clever, and oh my god, there's a shocker at the end, very clever at the end, I might add. I don't want to ruin it. But you realize, well, wait, this is saying a lot of things about what's going on now and has been since the haters known as feminists have taken over since the 1960s. Yes, I do mean that. We're done. We're done with the. Well, see, it's just about the equal. No, we get it. You hate men and you want free shit. That's it. We got it. I'll say it again. Feminism is communism with tits. That's it. That's all it is. Don't make it more complicated than that. You don't understand. See, the feminine. You want free shit because you got tits. That's it. We didn't have credit cards. Yeah, well, you got credit cards now. You've had them for 50 years. Shut the fuck up now and start working like men. That's the tolerance and patience I have for this. But what's great about it is it shows you what an all-female society would look like, ignoring my main concern, be like, who's keeping up the economic and technical and construction infrastructure? Which in a movie or short book like that, you're not going to go through it, right? This isn't like, I think it was Walden or Walden too. Some Marxist fucking nobody professor made me read that shit back in school. Cappy, why don't you like to read? I don't know, because I got to read this shit. There was none of that. There was none of that. Well, how do the sewers work? It's a, hey, come along for the ride. And these guys got to escape. The women are like, oh my God, men are here. There's pearl clutching. I'll give them one. There's an enforcement, a police force to manage the Society of Women, and it's an acronym of MILF, like the military and something labor force. The MILFs are coming. It was good. So they don't know what to do with these guys. And these guys immediately right off the bat, women's nature to control things. They've been indoctrinated. Men are evil. They've oppressed us. History has been rewritten. Only women did great things in society. I mean, a lot of things that are happening now. Remember how remember Gemini? Like if you said, search, do an image of George Washington, everyone's black, right? It's kind of happening at some levels. Oh, the food is shit. Surprise. So right off the bat, the guy's like, what happened? Where is everyone? What's going on? And because you have for lack of a better word, communist society taken over. And that was one thing that I logically, it's not bad. It wasn't a thing I disliked. I'm kind of like, well, how would that work? Because they're like 2 or 3 generations into the future. And all their indoctrination is that men oppressed us and we finally were liberated by the nuclear war and the disease that was sent and Mother Supreme. I always wondered, well, if there were no men around, why would the women still complain about it, right? Maybe for history's sake. Well, men have oppressed us or there was the bad time, but now they're all gone. And now we go on to whatever it is that would occupy the minds and entertain the minds of women. But they still seem to have a hate boner for men. And maybe that's not too long or far of a stretch. I mean, let's say men were gone for legit. Imagine it's a great question. Men are wiped out. Let's say 75 years. The last man alive was 75 years ago, right? And it's all women's society 2-3 generations later. Would women still be bitching about men? I mean, probably. I don't know. Who are you bitching to? I have no idea. It'd be a great question. Would you still be complaining? Or would it be a fun? Yes, the man oppressed us, but then the disease came and cleaned it all out. And now we've been able to have our feminist utopia. Where's the food? There's not a lot of electricity. There's places where there's not a lot of electricity. I noticed that. But then there was also some commentary, not explicit, but show don't tell, like a good author and movie would, where the scientists, they deal with the men. They're the first ones. Who are they? Wow, you're a man. Well, oh my God. And then the million, oh my God, you're men. And everything they were told about men, kind of like today. Men bad, men evil. We need to cut off their phalluses. Renaturalization. But then some of the gals actually like the guys. And that's one where jury might still be out on me. I had to think about it. For sure, book it made me think a lot. Where, see, Jax is the smooth one, okay? Jax, he's like James, look it up. Artemis Gordon and James West. That's the best way to describe these two. Jackson, he's the smooth talking. He's the handsome one. And he ends up kissing one of these gals, and she gets weak and woozy because she doesn't know what she's doing. What's happening to her. She's like, oh my God, what are these feelings? And I don't know if that would happen, right? All the data I got, unless Jackson was dashingly handsome in the book, but O'Connor would have to be too because he had the same effect on the other women. But for the plot to happen, for it to be interesting, you're right. The women would also have to be conflicted, where they're against their indoctrination, the brainwashing. All the women are on pills, very much like they are today, whether it's antidepressants or hormonal birth control. There's a well-written dystopian books is, hey, look at this horrible nightmare. Oh my God, some things are already happening now. And he does that. So the women are on these pills called what? Heat? Anti-heat? And they're conflicted. We've been told men bad. Supremacy of the female. Blah, 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 blah. But then all of a sudden, one of them, Miranda, I think it was, he kisses her and she, oh. Like the James Bond. Oh, James. First resistance and inevitably succumbs. I don't know if that would happen. I hate to say it. We're some interesting times, man, sociologically, sexually, economically speaking. Man, I had girls that genuinely liked me and, kind of just melted in my arms. Yeah, actually it did happen a couple times. Not a lot, but it happened a handful of times. For the most part, man, a lot of gals would be, maybe it's just maybe it was back in the day. Maybe back in James Bond day, girls would just melt in a man's hand. I have no idea. But that's been it happens, but that's the exception, not the rule. So Jackson and O'Connor would have to be pretty James Bond level characters for this to happen. Because then the girls are like, but they're nice and there's something about them I like. I don't know what it is, because none of these gals had sex. So it's very interesting where presumably like today, maybe some women really like men, but they dare don't go against the sisterhood. And you girls are introducing chemicals into your body that directly affects your sexuality towards men. I don't, maybe not negatively or positively, but birth control, right? That has an effect on your hormones, and by necessity, by default, would affect how you view men. And you must be very. I don't write this down in black and white. Go find some granite and chisel it in stone. You girls are told to not like men in this country and the West in general, maybe the world. That is true. I'm done. But you see, no, we're done with it. You are told that men are your enemy. Men are the adversary, right? Some of you are outright pushed to hate men. That's it. Some are like, well, they're okay. Blah, blah, blah. So, I wonder if just some magic kiss would, it almost knocks these girls out. That's what this is how the plot moves along. So they get captured, and then Jackson just pulls out his lips and plants one on the girl, and they escape. That's reducing it and simplifying a lot, but that happens. And these women like, what's happening to me? Oh, sister, you need more chemicals. Oh my God, you're liking men. Stop it. So they they come out of the cryogenic chamber, the scientists and the women. Oh my God, how do we deal with it? And you see how immediately the women want to control these guys. Because like, wait a minute, this is the deal. They don't respect the fact they're fellow human beings. That they're just, because of the indoctrination, men have caused all bad things. There's a committee. Communism, sister, comrade, same word. Enforcement branch. No day in court. No judge, jury, executioners, a Gestapo, or what was the Soviet, NKV? What was the Soviet secret police? I can't remember them. It's the FSB now. I forget. And there's political subterfuge, and so these guys are just trying to get out and trying to get free. And I don't want to give away what kind of environment they're in, but they're trying to escape. How much of it do I want to give away? I don't want to give any of it. I want people to read this book. So they're trying to escape an environment that is dictatorial, that is communist, it just happens to be female. And that's where remove male, female, doesn't matter. You have one group of people trying to control another group of people because of the way they were born. And these guys, legit, just leave us alone. We just, no, we don't want to be part of your society. And nope, we need to, they're either going to exterminate them or cut the junk off. That's what the committee, the commune with Mother Superior has decided. And so I want to keep saying the movie goes on, and some real interesting things happen where the two guys figure out, oh, wow, this is how it's set up. They figure everything out, and it is hilarious and telling at the end what ends up happening. I wish I could tell you what the ending was. The book itself is worth the ending. And is this the greatest writing ever? No. But it's short, sweet, funny, clever, to the point, and at the end, you're like, oh my God. And I don't know if Anthony knew it or not. I don't think I'm reading too much into it. But because he goes through it so quickly, there's a lot of social commentary that could be made about this. But I'll summarize what I think this book ended up becoming, whether intended or not by the author. All right. One, it's fun for everyone. I think he did intend that. This is fun. I'd give this, honestly, I'd give this to a feminist woman as like a gift. Like, here you go, happy birthday. It's just poke. You're not trying. This is going to win any of them over. This would just be this would be a great little book to give away to agitate someone. Like a Trump coffee mug to a leftist. Here's your coffee mug. That's what you would do with this. Ironically, because of its quick and fast-paced nature, and it doesn't delve into the depths. I think this is actually a great book for young men or boys. Uh, a piece of me would not wanna say, "Well, give this to a 13 or 14-year-old boy. He needs to read that." I don't wanna brainwash young men. I don't wanna brainwash kids. I want them to have fun before they have to become adults. But it's almost mandatory given how much brainwashing the left and feminists brainwash all people, especially young women, girls. Heck, I was at this bookstore in the Twin Cities, and, now admittedly, it was Pride Month. Um, it's like for kids, like a kid's bookstore, all this gay pride, gay and again, I'm a libertarian. I'm for the gay community. Leave the fucking kids alone. Like, back off a fucking bit. No, no. The Democrats and the teachers can't. I mean, it is. I know. Well, can't be the Republicans on this. No, they're really not. They're really not. The Democrats have affected you way more than you believe, and a lot of it has to do with the fact they control the public schools, K through 12. You get a leftist Democrat indoctrination. That's a fact. So I have no problem being so simple. Like the Democrats take your children, they brainwash them. Some of the teachers have sex with them because girl boss. I don't know. That's Rollo's department. He keeps tabs on that. And they do brainwash these girls and the boys as well. I think this would be because of its simplified nature. I don't think the boys have to understand all the clever innuendo, insinuations, and pointings outs. I think it's good for young boys to know that, and I do believe this, that women have a default saying, man, every group, actually, if left alone, would become tyrannical. Somebody gets too much money, one group of people gets too much power, they will become tyrannical. Was it absolute power corrupts absolutely or something like that? And this whole sugar and spice and everything nice and women are better than men and they're just so, oh, by the way, have sex with your teacher because she wants you to. Um, I I think there needs to be a counter to this. Like, hey, this is where this shit leads. And I absolutely believe that something like this would evolve. Women would form some kind of communist commune. Now, it wouldn't function. There'd be, and ladies, if you like, how dare you say that? Blah, 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 blah. Shh, shh. This is me doing this to you. Shh. Read this book and you let me know how your economy will turn out. Okay. That solely focuses on economics. But I like this in the fact that it paints a fictional scenario that shows the reader, in this case, young boys, young men, hey, girls may not be the most perfect. Don't give anyone everything. Don't give girls everything. Don't give everyone everything because it will corrupt them. And you look at that and you're like, oh, that doesn't sound good. Look at how controlling they are. Look at how and they blame us for everything. Like, oh yeah. And that if young men, old boys were to read that and understand, oh, there's this theoretical scenario, it'd be like reading 1984. And then you'd be able to identify this happening in the real world. Now, unlike Democrats and leftists and teachers who sleep with their students, you may want to say, look, not all women are these horrible creatures. Blah, 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 blah. You want to caveat that, but you need to look out for people wanting to control you based on traits they were born with because they don't want to work or produce anything in the real world. They want their traits to be the thing because that way, oh, we're amazing because we have trait X, right? And therefore, everyone else is inferior. We must control the people who are not with trait X. This happens in human history throughout time. You got to be aware of this. And especially because you're going to start liking girls, you got to realize they aren't the world's greatest thing. I mean, they can be, choose to. Stop sleeping with our students. They can be, but they're being conditioned a certain way. So I think this would be a great like warning book for young men, older boys. Like, hey, this is a possibility. This doesn't mean that Susie is out to enslave you. This doesn't mean you shouldn't ask out Jessica, or I guess Madison today. What lame names are we naming our children today, boys and girls? Um, but I think this would be a kind of a good book for uh, even though maybe the intended audience wasn't it. I'm not kidding, 12 to 16-year-old boys, young men. And then this one, probably no one picked up on it. But when you get to the later chapters, you figure out what's going on. I could not help but realize, like, oh my God, it's a metaphor as to how women are kept today. You women are kept. You are kept by the Democrat, leftist, socialist, feminist, whatever you want. You are kept by leftism. Leftism is your lord. And just like the women in this book, for the most part, don't know they are part of essentially a slave class. Ladies, it's the same thing, and that's why I'd recommend women, young women too, but even older women, like, why don't you read this? And at the end, women would say, "We wouldn't be that stupid." Okay, fine, fine, fine. Can you see though how you're all brainwashed? It's not coincidence. They're all on heat. That's just birth control. They ruthlessly enforce their beehive mother superior thought. They ruthlessly enforce it. You are not allowed to think differently. The one thing I would disagree with, I don't think there'd be a resistance. I really don't. I don't think you could just plant one on a girl's lips and she gets all wobbly kneed and fall and then helps the resist. I don't think that's but it is. You are ruthlessly enforced to think a certain way, right, ladies? If you want, I want to be a stay-at-home mom and make my husband happy. You're punished, right? Well, isn't that your choice? You don't have choice. You obey the feminist, communist commune directives. You obey Mother Superior. I don't know who Mother Superior would be in this case, but it's in the real world. But yeah, you look at 'em like, wow, women actually are kept on a tight leash, way tighter than even the worst days of patriarchy. You are you are farmed like fucking cattle. You really are. And I was like, wow. And the end is an amazing. I was like, holy shit. And then it was pretty clever. Pretty clever. So I enjoyed it. It's a short listen. Oh, so there's the one problem I have with it. The two problems I have with it, and they're very, very minor. These are cosmetic. So okay, Michael Kingswood, personal friend of mine, writes very well. We all gotta knock it off with these shitty fucking AI covers. Okay. I don't know if there's a shitty. I don't know if you're going to CalArts art students or some art institute here in the United States. You all got to stop it. We need to up our. I had up my thumbnail game. We all need to up our book cover game. Very minor, but I look at that, I gloss over. Okay, some wannabe author just put together a shit AI. I mean, I'm not saying AI can't make a good cover. But once I see that too plasticky sheen and shine, and Michael Kingswood, go look at his books, how not to do a book cover. First couple times, yeah, but if it's the same fucking a spaceship in space, AI generated, same boring font. Got that gloss right over. Very minor. The other thing is the Audible book, he narrates it way too slow. Now, I don't know if he did that for a reason, but very precise, very slow reading. Usually to get through things on time, like Ryan Stone's books, I put Ryan at about 1.4, 1.5 time. And that's quick enough where I can hear every word, but not so fast I miss something out. I went full 2 times speed, which is max it goes, and still had plenty of I wasn't like having to rewind. I heard every word because he reads it on 1 time speed, very slow. Very minor critique because what can you do? You could just boost it up to 1.6 and it'll be fine. But again, this is I don't like the knobs on the rolling up window of the car. Everything else about the car is great, but these knobs, I don't like the way the radio dial is. These are very minor things. But otherwise, yeah, I'd for those of you who are if you've been studying feminism and women, and invariably you're forced to if you want to like go out with them. I think most of the guys in my audience would do that. Women, ladies, I the book isn't for you. Spec- I don't think a lot of women are going to like this book. I think it makes a great book for feminists. You got a leftist gal in your, hey, here's a book for you. It absolutely in older times, this should absolutely be turned into a movie. This is perfect popcorn. This is a good fun movie, but we're not gonna surprise, all the women are hot though too. It it's like, yeah, yeah. Blondes? Nah, brunettes. Uh, but even if you are savvy and educated on what feminism has become, and we've all seen behind the curtain, and it's like, yeah, you just want our shit because you got a hole between your legs. That's it. I just described feminism for you. The end though is clever. And if you like fiction, if you like science, and science fiction, you just like fiction, this is a good, quick, fun, maybe 4 or 5 toilet poos, depending how long you poo kind of read. It's a clever, the ending alone is worth it. Go get it for the ending. Uh, but then I think it would be pretty good for young men, though. It might be, just don't give it to them. Women are bitches. That's what the left does. Men suck. You say, hey, just so you know, women got a nature about them. And if left unchecked, like all humans, all people, this is what happens. And this thing's called communism. That's about it. I would recommend you get the book, uh, Audible or paperback. This isn't going to be, some in-depth thing, but it's very clever. So I rather enjoyed it. Let's go to super chats. Dre, $2. But Cappy is listening to Audible, same as reading it. No, see, with Audible, I can go do shit. I listened to this. I went to Menards. I went to Lowe's. I went to try to buy a gun at Fleet Farm, but the customer service was shit. I sat there, looked at 2 guys. I'm like waiting for them with the vests. I'm like, I've been here 5 minutes looking at, I'd like to hold and look at some guns. And nope. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll go to Shields. Shields was closed, but I was listening to Anthony's book the entire time. Ryan Stone, that was almost exclusively listened to while hiking. There is no I declare to you, there is no reason you should be sitting holding a paper book, for you're a slave to the place you are sitting, unable to do other things and contribute to GDP. Yeah, man, I will never fuck the teachers. I hate you teachers so much because you are so anti-freedom. Sit in this fucking room on a beautiful day and read this boring shit piece of paper tree right here in front of you. Sit in your desk and read. Fuck you. No. No. That's a prison. Sitting and reading. I know weirdos like Vince like to sit there. Oh, I like to curl up with a book. I don't good. Curl up in a prison cage with communism. That's what should you sit down and read this book? That's like curling up next to communism in a prison cage. Well, you're not really in a prison. Yeah, I can't move. Right? So you're effectively, as long as you're reading, you're in a cage. But with Audible book, I can drive. I can this. I can that. Oh, it's not the same thing. Yeah, you're right. I'm not stuck sitting. Like, I understand if you're sitting on a toilet, right? Let me show you where reading a physical book ranks in my world. Right? The only time it is acceptable to be on an online dating app is when you're taking a shit. That's it. That's the only time it's acceptable for you to sit and read something paper-wise is when you're on the freaking toilet. But no, unless you're going number twosies, you should not have no one should have a book in their hand unless you are taking a shit. Of course, I'm not a dictator, so you can do what you want, but I am not. No. Let summer library programs. Let's go indoors again, sit at desks, and read books in summer vacation. Oh my God, kill me now. Why don't I just have sex with a fat chick with STDs? Samson Joshua, $5. The premise sounds like that anime World's End Harem isn't that technically plagiarism? I don't know. But there's been other I've never seen it. This is not a unique premise. I think the ending is unique. Um, but yeah, there's been other, Planet of the Women or A World Without Men. Heck, one of my book title, A World Without Men. There are other book titles out there, but they're not copyrightable because that's such a generic title. That's why I put a subtitle in it to differentiate it. But I think there's a book out there, A World Without Men, and it's female masturbation material. Um, oh, we could do it this way. It's like, well, you don't have to have men in your life. Just go form a commune. Get the fuck out. Dre, $2 cap. Yes, PTRD, post traumatic reading this. I do. I hate, dude. Look, you all aren't thinking smart as me. We were stuck in prison for 13 years as kids, from 5 to 18. Forced to read this most boring fucking shit. Maybe you got an education. Maybe you learned a little bit of reading, writing, and arithmetic. But for the most part, it was bullshit. It was the welfare jobs programs for our dumbest people in society, teachers. And you still came out without a skill or 13 years, and we don't have a skill or a trade to go and support ourselves. You got to go to more school, but you get to pay us. Democrats, right? Wasn't the Republicans doing it? It was the Democrats. My favorite is the millennials. I know the Democrats just literally raisined my ass. My entire youth is gone and indebted me to the tune of $120,000 for a completely unemployable degree. I know I literally borrowed money I didn't have and gave it to Democrat professors, teachers, and college admins. But I'm going to keep voting Democrat because that's the way. You are fucking sheep. Fucking you're slaves. You're fucking slaves. And you don't even and bravo to you academic Democrats. I mean, that is amazing how you willingly got 3 generations to fork over their youth and their money and make you guys rich. That's almost as amazing as like car companies getting young men to be impoverished buying your fucking sports cars. It's bravo. I got to hand it to you. And they still vote for your shit. Like, I've never beaten the crap out of someone and then they vote to put me in power. But you did that to the millennials. Base, $2. Got fired. Boomer boss is pissed I'm collecting. Oh, good. Too bad for him. Maybe he should have been honest about the job description and some job training. Good to hear, Base. Hey, Reen's back. Reen had some troubles with his super chat, so I guess it's working now. Hi. $5. AI replaces white collar women. Women vote socialism. Society suffers. This is our path. Women complaining is corn for women. I'm convinced. Yeah, but no, seriously. Okay, men are wiped out, right? This would be anyone, right? Let's say Israel is wiped out. Who's the new Satan for the Muslim community? And what will happen if you go and look back through Islamic history? Dude, there were infightings with different caliphates and all that. It's human nature, male, female, Muslim. It's going to happen. Go look at the Nika revolts. It was based on a color of the flag of the gladiators. Go look it up. Go Go to Philadelphia on any professionals, the Philadelphia Eagles. They'll go fight anyone because we're the Eagles team. Humans will find a reason to complain and find a reason to hate the other guy, right? Go to whatever, Chicago, New York, 1910. The fucking Irish, the fucking Italians. I even saw that here. The parents wanted their daughter to date me in Chicago because Clary, because I was Irish, and they wanted a good Irish boy. And turns out I'm only 3% Irish. It's just the name kept getting knocking down like a game of Plinko because of what happened to be on the guy's side. Not Irish. I was barely Irish. Oh my God, he's Irish. Nah, that would have been interesting. Did the 23andMe married the gal? Your kid's only 1.5% Irish. Women would complain about something. It's human nature, but I don't know if it would be men. There ain't no men to complain about. Reen, 50 generous. Reen, did you add too many nines? Been away for a bit, Cap. You did a video about red pill viewership down. Frankly, haven't watched or made a request in a while. That's because I don't really have any more questions on women. I got it. Let me know if they change. No, that was the whole point of the video. Look, guys, there will always be, there's always a freshman class. There's always new young boys who've been raised by Minnesota fathers, meaning ball of sacks of wonderfuts. There will always be kids that are lied to, right? As long as there's Democrat teachers, and there'll be a need for me and red pill. But yeah, this is merely a training facility and an equipment station. We train you, we equip you, and then you go back out into the real world, but this time better armed and more wise. We got a map. Motherfucker, we got fucking GPS. Like, yeah, we got this all mapped out. Here's where you go. And then you go out and live life. You don't sit here and keep reading. Yeah. And that's fine. I like to see that. Don't sit here and stew all the time. Be some fun stuff every once in a while. I'm sure those crazy wascally womans are going to do something different to what's going to happen. But see, then you get into the tabloids where I just don't care anymore, right? Crazy woman says crazy thing. Like, that's just another Tuesday. Oh, look, a hike I haven't done. Oh, look, a river I haven't fished. I'm going to go do that. I think what the red pill does is it liberates men from the idea. I think it disabuses you of that. I mean, it's possible, right? And not saying if it's available to you to not take it. It's not saying that. It says, hey, look, this thing you keep going for really doesn't exist. And you're wasting your life and your time doing it. It can happen, but the way you're doing it now, and you need to liberate yourself from this idea and go live your life before it's over. And in doing that, your chances are the same thing as how you're doing it now. So go be free, live your life, have a good time. Hot girl at the coffee, sure, ask absolutely. But you need to, basically throw everything away, K through whatever 12 told you, and move on. It's you're trying to fix a car that has to fix itself, really. Now, you stop working on this car. Go, look, come on. Dude, I wasn't free until I was about 30 from both employers and my ideas with women. Like, it wasn't like, what? Oh, fuck this shit. I'm out. And then everything kind of fell into place. It's weird how that happens. But yeah, I'm glad you're going. You can stop in, say hi to the gang. What's up, gang? But yeah, you know what happens if we don't leave? We end up becoming like those feminists who, like, I'm sure if right now, if I went and looked at the PhD program, or if I went to the women's studies department of any university, it's going to be filled with a bunch of miserable women who perhaps back in the 60s had some legitimate concerns and complaints about men. But that became their life, is complaining about men, and we hate men, and we're oppressed, and give me more money. I'm going to have a pee. Like, that was your life. And at 70, still bitching about men and, "No, I wanna have rights to ending my children," and it's like, that's your whole life? You wasted it. Toasty Patsy. Thanks for the $50, Reen. Toasty Patsy, a pasty, $2. The cover works because it appeals to women. Does it? Wait. Well, okay. Do those covers appeal to women? But I don't think his market is women. I know as a guy, I look at that and like I said, it's very minor. Jonathan Bertson, $2. Why is Shameless Spurg being allowed? I don't know. Who is he? Why is he pushed on you? I don't know. Is he why are let's go back 5 years, 4 years. Why were adult onesies pajamas with a big old creature head, whether it was a turtle or a bunny rabbit or what? Why was that popular for a hot, brief half a year for adult millennials to go out and wear pajama adult onesies? Why was that popular? Because there was a market for it. It was ridiculous. Why is Pink Floyd even consumed to this day? I don't know, but somebody likes it. And knowing nothing about Shameless Spurg, people obviously like it. Uh, it's fine. You know, I'm sure there's a feminist equivalent of mine who, oh, more free shit and power of the woman, blah, 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 but she's got an audience. Okay, cool. Why is Taylor Swift so popular? We don't control what other people want, and that's fine. Maybe he's good. I don't know. He can have a channel too, but seriously, he is the ultra politically incorrect. Well, okay. Now I'll go listen to him. I gotta go spray for weeds. Exciting. I'm not, guys. I don't make it up. Just yesterday, I did a thank you because I looked up my Amazon affiliate, and I make money on it. And I'm like, cool. I can afford chemical spray for the weeds. I'm not joking. I need a I have a pistol down in Vegas, but it's my old pistol. It was my standard pistol, which is still to my day my favorite, but it's too big. I need to get a small, like an MP9 Shield. And I wanted to thank you all. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go buy some. I got uh, deck sealant spraying the rafters. And I'm like, yes, today's super chat's paid for my deck sealant. Range is paid for the chemical spray. So he's politically incorrect. Well, yeah, ultra politically incorrect. Well, then he's probably pop. Oh, are you saying he's going against what YouTube would approve of? And now he's making, well, what could happen and be like Fresh and Fit? They're saying thing that resonates with an audience because people want the truth. It's not extremism. It's not radical. It's not edgy. It's just the truth. The rest of you people haven't heard of it. And so it sounds shocking. Men don't like fat chicks. But in due time, I think the censors will probably get to him. Like if he gets to be a big enough channel, that's just my guess. Diced crab, 2 British pounds. Reading is the mental gym. You become weak otherwise. That's why I do both at the same time. I read with I got them right here. I read with these headphones while lifting weights. I agree. It is the mental gym, which you can do while doing the physical gym. The Plains Warrior, $2. Appeal to women, use a female nom de plume. Yeah, but this book it's not going to resonate with women. But yes, you would have to use a female pen name. And if you want to appeal to women, go look. And I did. I read like the top 4 books. I had a great one read a couple for me and give me the Cliff Notes version. But I've read or somehow consumed the top 5 to 8 books. Man, not 8, probably 5 to 7 books written by women. The one that Brittany Renner had a book, and that was just it. You all should read Brittany Renner's book, and you don't have to read a lot of it. Read the first 2 chapters, and you're like, "This is shit." I'm not saying I disagree with what she wrote, although that too. The writing is horrible. I'd like to say the logic is flawed. There's no logic. It's just an emotional vomit. If you wanna know what the top books are for women, now admittedly, this was 5 years ago, it's just emotional vomit. It's diarrhea. No, not I wish there was an organization. It is sad, and you realize, like, this gives more credence to that the shit you see TikTok girls do is real than an act, because these are the most play these women have outsold all my books. What was the other one? Women Don't Owe You Pretty. That one's almost worth reading the whole book for. But again, you'll be like, "Hey, lady, can you focus?" That one, I think she vomited out, but then organized the pieces of vomit based on color. So there was a semblance of organization in her puke. But you read through it like, oh, and then you realize, oh yeah, it's just emotion, just mindless, unstructured emotion. But if you can organize your puke by color, then it almost bestseller. Dre, $2. Did your dad force you to read the Bible as a kid? Yes and no. We went to a thing called parochial school, which is Christian school. There's private school, but then there's religious private school. That's parochial. And they did. What 5-year-old, well, you weren't reading, you had parables. But by the 3rd grade, what, 8-year-old doesn't love sitting down and reading the Bible? What's sad is the Bible and the parables. There's some good stories there, regardless of what your religion is. There's some morals to learn from it, and there's some great stories. Like there's some great, and they've made movies out of biblical stories before. But when you beat your fucking kid with it, you push them away forever. So, yeah, and it's kinda sad because, I like R.C. Sproul. Yeah, I think he's passed away now. But there's some deep philosophical stuff you can learn from the Bible, as a secular individual. But it's sad because if you just l imagine that. If you hit your kid with a blue bat, he might wanna not be around blue bats anymore. But it's a really good bat, don't care. Yeah. So it throws now it's been years since, I've read. And when you're a kid, you don't remember. Ah, Timothy 3, chapter 7, verse 312. um, but you remember the general thesis, the theory, the philosophy behind you. So, well, yeah, but that didn't have or this and then you get these, pretty educated Christian types, and they run into like a preacher's kid who was forced to read it, and they're like, "Yeah, that's all bullshit." Oh, is that what about this? Well, you see, and then it's like you're watching a leftist go into minutia and word salad and gray area, and at the end of the day, at the end of the day, what happens is they're like, "Oh shit, he knows his shit," and then they leave you alone. Like, yeah, oh shit, he's a preacher's kid. Ross the oh shit, he's a preacher's kid. Hide your daughters. Ross the skunk, $2. You and Ryan Stone. I still watch the rest got old. Really? See, I gotta imagine there's no consistency. I'm not calling you inconsistent, Ross, but I think everyone tunes into who they kind of like. I still listen to Ryan Stone. Um, but yeah, I think just as someone like I can't. How do you listen to Cappy? It's the same shit all the time, you know. Oh, I listen to Rolo or I listen to Better Patch. How can you listen to those guys? The same shit all the time. Yeah, stop in, right? You don't have to stick around every Sunday. Get out of here. We don't want go, do. Like I don't listen to red pill stuff. Occasionally I will, but I listen to like nerd stuff. So yeah, you're not supposed to sit here and dwell. John, again, $2. Yes, dude is literally really. Well, how long has he been around? I'm not, again, not searching for another super chat. I bet you he's a new channel. They'll get around to banning him soon enough. I don't believe YouTube has the censors they used to. I don't think they have the censor budget, especially now that Susan is gone. Um, I don't know if the new guy has a little bit more freedom of speech, but that probably won't stand for long. Colin, $2. Any reason to go shield over a G43? But well, what's the G43 look like? Guns are just like podcast guns are very specific to you, specifically your hand. I'm a smaller guy, so I go with subcompacts for carry because I don't deal with winter. One thing I will say about winter is it allowed you to carry whatever fucking gun you wanted because you're wearing bulky clothing. But if you're in Vegas and it's 78, you're not going to be carrying even a regular size pistol. A G43, isn't that a rifle? G43. Oh, Glock 43. No, I have Glocks. Um, I no, it's up to you. It's up to you. I just have an MP9 shield here. I like it. It works well. I know how to disassemble it. It's never failed me. I'm open for something a little bigger that can fit better into my hand. But no, it's all what feels good and what do you shoot best with. Dre, $2. Cappy's favorite pews to touch are Big Mike's arms. Don't you have to go to bed, Dre? Ain't it late where you are right now? Don't you have to go to sleep? All right. Thank you kindly for all the super chats. Cappy's going to go spray some weeds. Very exciting day. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.